Hi there, it's Ed Moses, and welcome back to Project Mindset. Today I want to talk to you about nature walks. Kind of an odd subject, maybe you're thinking, but let me explain something to you. I think it's a very important aspect of life to get in touch with nature in some way, shape, or form. Most of us, in some way, there's stress in our lives, and that stress causes us to think about things that we don't particularly want to think about, but it just kind of happens, you know. You probably know what I'm talking about. It's that voice in your head that won't shut up sometimes about a situation or some other problem that may occur in your life some way. But here's what I'm getting at with these nature walks. You know, there's a time in your life when you, and it may be daily, it could be weekly, it could be once a month, I don't know. But there's a time in your life when you need to just get out and be a part of nature because for one thing, you know, you've got the fresh air, you're out and about, you're out in nature where there's no cars, there's nothing really there to pollute. You're with animals that are just running around the woods because that's what they do. You're around all these trees that are enriching the air with oxygen and all these other great things. And you're surrounded by sounds that you don't hear in the city. You're surrounded by the sound of animals, birds chirping. I don't know, maybe rabbits make noises, I don't really know. But all these different animals, chipmunks, all these different things going on. You can hear leaves rattling. What I really like, there's a place I like to go, and there's a lake right next to it, and there's all this water, and you could hear the water flowing. You could hear, it's just beautiful, And sadly, I mistakenly forgot to take my camera with me yesterday when I took my nature walk, which I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't do that because that's really what I wanted to do. And I promise you, the next one that I do on a nature walk will have my camera, and I am going to shoot some footage of the woods that I like to wander through on occasions, and just show you the beauty of it and how cool it really is. And you know, it's really pretty. Right now, it's really different because you're at the season where, well, typically it's February right now, and typically it's very cold and frozen right now in Ohio normally. And this has been an odd weekend in Ohio because for February it's actually warmed up, things are thawing out, lots of snow is melting, so there's like water everywhere and streams of water in odd places, and some people even have, in my area, have flooded yards and stuff because the water has nowhere to go. It's just that much water. And so you run into that kind of a problem. But what's interesting in the woods, you know, you're walking through and there's so much beauty in it. And I'm not a winter person, I just really am not, but you do take things for granted sometimes. If you don't get out and about and look at what is out in nature and see, the true beauty that's actually out there for us to enjoy if we just take the time to do it. I really wish, like I said, I wish I would have brought the camera and shot some pictures or shot the video because there was some beautiful stuff going on. The water was just streaming, through this little channel that was going down into the lake. There was snow, and just really interesting how the snow was melting. The trees, beautiful. You could hear the birds and all this great stuff going on. The water flowing, and what I do, and what I really like to do when I got out there, even though it was a little cold, I try to find me a place, particularly sitting where I could sit on a tree. And so I sat on this tree trunk I bet I was there for right next to 25, 30 minutes. And I just kind of sat there with my eyes closed. I couldn't really get an Indian or whatever, squatted position to, like when you meditate, I don't know what you want to call that position. I didn't really get down into that position because, well, for one thing, the ground was wet and muddy. So I sat on this tree trunk that had fallen across the woods at some point, and I just kind of sat there comfortably and just had my hands out in front of me. It was cold, I had gloves on, so and I sat out there for, like I said, I think it was like 25, 30 minutes. I didn't bring my cell phone or anything. You know, I didn't want nothing to interrupt the moment. And pretty much what I did was I took that moment and cleared everything out of my mind at that moment. And all I focused on was the sounds that I could hear in the woods. I could hear, like I said, I could hear the water. I could hear, you know, the flowing of the water, because like I said, there's so much melting. There's water flowing everywhere. You could hear it flowing down into the lake. I could hear the birds chirping. You could hear animals running, you know, through, you know, some of the leaves, because the leaves were back out again because the snow had melted in a lot of different places. You could hear the birds going from branch to branch in the trees, and you know, I had my eyes closed, so I didn't really see what was going on. But what I did do was suck up the feeling of just being in nature, and just being a part of it, and just really just letting nature do its thing while I sat there and pretty much observed it through just the sound that it gave off. And you know, after about 30 minutes, I was getting pretty chilled, so I got up and I started walking back towards my car. One thing I did notice, there was some man was out jogging in that area, which I thought it's pretty cool, but you know, I thought about my ankles. I'm a runner, so you know, it's like, wow, I never thought about running through here. But you know, you're taking a chance because of all the tree branches and the big rocks that are set in different places. You could really twist an ankle or something. And I'm kind of funny about that because I don't want to have to take any time off running if I don't have to. But so I walked back to my car, and the whole time back, I'm just like listening to every step I took. You could hear my shoes crunching the snow. You could hear, you know, the sound of my coat making that swish sound on the, you know, from when your arms are moving like so. And so it just, what it actually did for me, it kind of toned me out of anything that wasn't of any relevance at that moment. The only thing that was relevant at that moment was the beauty of the sounds I could hear, and it emptied out, you know, any negative or thoughts, stressful thoughts that had occurred over the week, and it just kind of made me feel really good, you know. So you know, I really thoroughly enjoyed the walk. And what I'm getting at though is, you know, this is something that we as human beings need to do more often, because it is such a healthy thing to do. It is such a good thing to do. A lot of people spend so much time in their house in front of the television set doing whatever they do, playing games on the PlayStations, or you know, whatever people do, and that's fine. But you know, you reach a point in life where you need to be part of nature in some way, and sadly, in a lot of areas are losing their forests and natural stuff. So there's not as much as there used to be around, and it's really something that I feel strongly that we should take advantage of and enjoy it, you know, because it's really important. It's really important because it's just such a healthy thing. It's such a healthy thing to do. But you know, when I created Project Mindset, the whole idea was to find a better way of doing things. And you know, when just taking a break and enjoying nature is such a awesome thing to do for yourself, and just a way to break free from, you know, the craziness of everyday life. You know, how you use Project Mindset it's really up to you, but I can tell you one thing: it's a better way. I appreciate you watching the video. I enjoyed making this video, and I do look forward to seeing you in the next video. I will talk to you later now. Thank you very much. Bye now.